Hi guys, we already have such a lovely audience today. So hi Satya, hi Shweta, and hi Bunty, hi Vijay, hi Yashika, and hi Vikash. Namaskar, and hi Abhishek. Hi Anjan, hi Prosun, hi Sandhya, hi Naveen, hi Bhagyalakshmi. So I can see there are so many people who have joined in from yesterday's session as well. So that's really good to see the consistency, guys. I have been constantly saying that consistency is ultimately the key, right? So hi Harsh, hi Renamo Tech, hi Sachin, hi Ravi, hi Nikita, hi Dashrath, hi Venkatesh, hi Pappu. And can I get more highs? We have around 30 people here and more people are joining in. Right. Hi Ghanshyam. How are you guys today? So this is the final session for ChatGPT Ultimate Frontend Bootcamp. How are you guys feeling? Are you guys excited? Are you guys nervous? Because today you guys would be completing, you guys would be finishing with building this user interface of ChatGPT. Hi Avi as well. Okay, hi Naveen. Hi Nandini. Hi Motivational King. You can provide us some motivation as well if you'd like. I mean, the students. Good evening, Vinu. Hi, Montu Khan. Hi, Ivy. Hi, Naveen. Okay, Naveen is excited. What about the rest of you guys? Are you guys excited? Are you guys nervous? Are you guys sad, happy about your progress? Do you guys feel like you've grown a lot in the last 3 days? You guys have learned a lot. How are you guys feeling? More and more excited. Okay, Ghanshyam, that's really good to know. What about the rest of you guys? Nikita is also so excited. Okay. Okay, hi Jairam, hi Jendra, Mehant, and hi Anjali. That's really good to see all of you guys here. So, guys, let me just tell you what's going to be happening in today's session. Okay, Prosun. So, before that, let me tell you how much we have already progressed in the last 3 days. So, in the first session, we started with this chat GPT boot camp, right? We had an orientation session. We learned the scope of tech, why we should be aiming for tech in the first place, and what is the future ahead of us, and how you guys can actually, what is the right step, how you guys can build your career in tech if you actually want to build a tech career in the first place, right? And then we continued with chat gpt session. Then on the second day we built a resume, right? So we told you guys what an impressive resume looks like, and again we continued with the chat gpt. And in the third session, that is yesterday, we learned the secrets of how to impress any HR in an interview, right? What an HR looks for, and how to answer the most frequently asked questions in the most effective manner. Correct? Hi Saiteja, and Rahul is excited as well. Nikita is saying yesterday's session was so good. Thanks for it. So thank you so much, Nikita, for providing us the feedback. That's really helpful for us, and that keeps us motivated. Ivy is saying learned a lot. Okay, Sachin is also excited. Hi, Amol, and Amol is excited as well. Jairam is excited. Nikita is saying it helps me a lot. Got it, Nikita? All right. Okay, guys. And apart from that, guys, on all 3 days we had this Accio Premier League, right? So today there's not going to be any Accio Premier League. What are we going to aim for today is the project submission, because today the whole session would be taken by Avi. We would be focusing on completing this project, and we should aim for code with Avi himself. Make sure that you guys are coding. If you have any questions, make sure that you are asking the questions right away from Avi, correct? And we guys would be actually submitting the project. So Avi, once the project has been built, Avi would be sharing with you a link through which you guys can submit a project to AccioJob, and through that you guys can win a reward. So that would be really good for you guys. Okay. No worries, Anjali. If you were not able to attend the session yesterday, you can definitely visit our YouTube account and you can see yesterday's session in the live section. it's there. Otherwise, I had also posted the recording in our Discord community as well as WhatsApp groups. Okay. Hi, edits. Okay, guys, before moving on, so Avi would be taking over very soon. So before we move on, guys, do you have any questions with regards to this boot camp? Any questions, not coding questions, but any questions with regards to the rewards or the certificates? Certificates would be shared with you guys tomorrow over the email. In case you guys have joined all the live classes, then you guys would be eligible for a certificate. Apart from that, guys, do you have any queries? Right, so I have already told you how you guys can get a certificate. Any other queries? Waiting. Or are we guys ready? If you guys are ready for the session, can you type in a big ready in the chat box and also say hi to Avi?
Hello everyone, and yes, let's all write ready in the chats because I sure am ready to get started. Right. So Anis
What do
says
you mean?
today, Shlakas is ready. That's nice. Hello Nalavra. Hello Prasoon. Hi Jendra. Hi Ghanshyam. And right, everyone seems to be here. Hi Ivy, hi Prasanna, a lot of familiar faces. So we really appreciate you guys. It's day 4 today, and a lot of you guys have been there since day 1, right? I think one of you were not there yesterday, and that's completely fine. Don't worry. Today we're going to cover everything in the ChatGPT UI, anyways. So don't really worry about it. I'll try my best to explain each and every line of code that I'm writing, and you guys will have to write along with me so that you guys can submit the final project, right? And Sahit says hi, Kukula says hi, Anis. Do we need to submit the projects today? Yes, you need to submit the projects today. Don't worry, I will be giving you guys, I think towards the end, we will have around 15, 20 minutes, 20, 30 minutes of Q&A session. So you guys can even take those, the last 20, 30 minutes to completely fill it up. And then you guys can submit the project, right?
Right.
Uh,
Also, one more thing, I'm sorry to interrupt. So, the deadline for project submission would be till tomorrow afternoon. So, you guys can obviously submit the project till tomorrow. If you have any kind of queries, you guys can reach out to our mentors over Discord. However, it would be advisable to utilize this specific session itself and make sure to complete the project and send it right away with Avi.
Definitely. So, right, Jairam says hi, Shudika says hi. I think we're all ready then. So, shall we begin, guys? What do you guys say? I'll just share my screen as well so that you guys can see it. And then we'll just get started. So, all right. My screen will be live to you guys in a second. And let me also show you guys what exactly we'll be building. So just give me a second on that. And I think my screen should be visible to you guys now. Right? Do let me know in the chats if you face any issues. Today I'll make sure that my VS Code is okay. Today I'll make sure that my VS Code is fully zoomed in so that you guys can definitely have a look at the code. I think this is a good size to keep. This is way too much. I will not be able to code if the screen size is this much. But I think this is a decent amount, decent size to keep. Right. So if my screen is clear and everyone is ready, let's just quickly get started then. Right. So on my screen, something that you might already see is the ChatGPT UI that I have built, right? And I would like to say that I have done a really good job at building it. We are definitely missing this particular element, right? This particular element, this is something that we might not cover today. Let's see. If time permits, we shall make this as well. Otherwise, this is something that has been provided with the GPT-4 that I personally have. For you guys, the UI will be a little different because again, I personally have GPT Plus on my personal Gmail account, right? But right, so this is how it looks. Cool. So how many of you guys can already see the clone that we'll be building, and how many of you guys are already proud of the fact that this is what we'll be building? Doesn't this look quite exactly the replica, right? What do you guys think? Have I done a good job, or will we be doing a good job at creating a ChatGPT clone and creating the entire ChatGPT UI, right? What do you guys say? Sounds good? And trust me, the code is not at all a lot. I will just let you know right now. I think the code is about 70 lines of HTML, in fact 65 lines of HTML, and another 100 150 lines of CSS. And I'm sure I can definitely make the CSS look concise it a little bit, but right. So what do you guys think? Shivanand says, yes, it looks good already. Nilavra says GPT-4 available in NAT Dev Compare. Okay, I was not aware of that. Nikita says, it looks good. Prasoon says, yes, visible. All right, great. So I hope you guys are all very excited because this is what we'll be building, like I said. And without wasting much time today, we directly dive into the coding part. So yesterday, if you guys remember, we covered a whole lot of stylings. We covered a whole lot of. We didn't cover much in HTML because we are already done. We already covered that in day two. But in day three, it was all about CSS, right? So this is the code that we currently have and the code that I have personally published on GitHub. So how many of you guys have the Notion link and the GitHub link? So Om Gopal is saying, sir, will the recording be available? Yes, of course, Om Gopal, because if you already go to AccioJob's YouTube channel, by the way, so I think somebody missed yesterday's session, right? So the person who missed yesterday's session, you can just directly go on this live tab. And over here, if you guys have a look at, you can already see we have day 1, day 2, day 3, and day 4. So all of the 4 sessions are already there, right here, correct? So you don't really need to worry about the recordings, right? And as you guys can see, this is currently live. This is the video that you're watching, right? So, okay. So I think you guys can refer to this. And in case you guys want to have a look at the GitHub code that I provided, so the Notion link, I'll just quickly share the Notion link again with you guys, right? Let me see. This is the ChatGPT Bootcamp. And let me just share this Notion. Right today, I haven't really written anything in this Notion because, again, all of what we'll be doing is just the code bit. So I've sent the Notion again in the chat for you guys to have a look at. And over here, if you guys see, we have the GitHub link right at the top. So this is the same GitHub link that I will be using to publish my, where I'll be putting all of the code. So when tomorrow afternoon, by I think 2:50 or 3 p.m., right? So by tomorrow afternoon, you guys will have all the code with yourself. You guys will have the explanation of the video. But I would personally recommend that you guys do not really copy and paste directly my code, but definitely take inspiration from it. Maybe copy some little things and definitely make your own ChatGPT clone, right? But don't worry, the code will be there for you guys to refer to. Obviously, everything will be there for you guys to refer to. I've sent the Notion again in the chats, so have a look at that. The Notion has already been shared with you guys on the Discord groups that you have, right? So, how many of you guys are comfortable with whatever we did in the last 3 days and are ready to get started finally, right? Is there something you would want me to revise? Because yesterday, towards the end, I did say that I'm going to talk about positioning today, but I would like to talk about positioning when we actually start the project. So, I say it's good time that it's about time that we start the project. And once we are there, we will definitely take care of the positioning bit, right? Sounds good? Om says excited. Uh, Nilavra says ready. Great, great. Perfect. Sounds good. Sounds good. All right. So let's do one thing. Let's just get started. And firstly, what I would like to do is I would like to do a little bit of code cleanup. So whatever we have written so far in the last 2, 3 days, let's just get rid of all of that code and finally create our chat GPT clone. Right? Even the styles, I'm just going to get rid of everything, and I'll tell you why I'm doing that. It's just so that our code looks clean, right? But all right, if I click on go live, and if I look at my server right now, right, this is what I have: a completely blank screen, right? Something that I'll do is this is the final clone that we'll be building. I just showed this to you. I will not really, come back here again and again. We'll be referring this part only for our entire thing. All right. Okay. Sahana says, sir, can you zoom in a little? Right, Sahana, I'll try my best to zoom in, but I don't think so. There's much to zoom in on this UI as well. I think this is good, right? And the code definitely I've zoomed in a lot. But all right. So let's start at the very top, right? What is the difference that you guys see between this and this? The title, the tab, we'll be starting from right beginning of the page. This is the real chat GPT and this is the fake one. This is the one that we are making. So what difference do you see? I've made the text the same. So all of it says chat GPT, right? If I go to my code and over here, if I say chat GPT clone, right? Then you guys will see this title has clone, right? So Get Set Gokul says that the clarity is a bit low. Hmm. Google, I cannot really zoom more, right? Try having a look at your personal this thing. like your personal YouTube settings, right? Have it on the highest possible resolution, because I can see it on my other screen that I have, and everything looks fine. Okay, but all right. So the only difference that right now you see between the real ChatGPT and the one that we're making is this particular icon, right? So what we'll have to do is we'll have to get ChatGPT's icon. Now there is actually a very cool way of doing that. What I would like to do is I would like to just inspect element and have a look at their code. If we go to their particular head section, and over here, if you have a look at this, this there should be an icon that is there. Let's have a look. Okay, so ChatGPT haven't really. Here it is. So if I copy this link and if I paste this link, this will probably be the logo. Okay, this is not the logo. Wow. There should be their logo somewhere else. If not, we can just directly get it from the internet. Not an issue. Okay. Usually, what I like to do is I just like to pick the logo of the company right from this part only. But over here, as you guys can see, uh, they haven't really hosted their logos. All of it is right over here. So we shall get the logo from. Can I not download it from the assets, or let's have a look at if I can download it from the network or something. No, never mind. Let's not talk about all of this stuff. Let's just totally get it. So chat GPT logo PNG. I'll just get this directly. So it is advised get a transparent logo from transparent. Right. We'll just get a transparent chat GPT logo. I think this should be good. So I will just download this. You guys can download this as well. Just download it from anywhere. The logo doesn't matter, right? Once the logo is there, all you need to do is drag this and paste it over here, right? What we'll do is we'll just have it over here, and I will just change this to say logo, right? So we have an index.html, we have a style.css, and we also have a logo.png, right? Now what I would want to do is this particular icon, the icon that you see over here and over here, that icon is what we call as a fav icon, right? So this icon is what we call as a fav icon. So you can just easily search fav icon, set fav icon in HTML, right? The first link will be W3 schools. Just go to this part, and over here you see this link, right? Just copy this exactly, come and paste it over here. Now, when you do, you'll see link rel icon, type is image, but href. Now, what is this href? This href will be the link to this particular logo.png. In our case, it just dot slash logo.png. Now, as soon as I save this code, I go to my Google Chrome. You guys can probably see that we have both the logos over here. In fact, something that is good is the fact that over here, you guys can see that this is a little darker. So that will actually help us to differentiate that this is not the real deal, right? Which is good, because in the next 1 hour, we will be getting confused that, oh, which one is ours? Because my plan is to make it look pixel perfect, exactly look the same, right? So if this icon part is clear, we can move ahead. So what I did was just download a image, drag it over here, make sure that this logo.png is the name of this file, copy this code from the internet, and have dot slash logo.png, right? So have dot slash logo.png. Sounds cool? Yes. Nilavra says first copy. Exactly, Nilavra. We obviously don't want to get sued by ChatGPT, but yeah, we can do the best next thing, right? Anyways, that was just a joke. So let's continue. Now, here comes the cool part. The part where we are supposed to make our background color equal to this color. Now, how will I do that? Right? What you guys can do is you guys can inspect element as well. Or I personally, what I have done is I have downloaded this color picker. So you guys remember yesterday we talked about color pickers, right? They allow you to pick a color, right? So what I have personally done is on my laptop, there are a lot of Google Chrome extensions as well. I have downloaded this thing called Color Slurp. Now, what this does is that I can just go to Chat GPT, right? I can click on this drop icon and I can just click whatever color I want. As you guys can see over here, when I hover, it is 20213 something. If I hover on some grayish area, let's say if I hover over this golden part, it is FAE69E. Do you guys see the color? Do you guys see the little letter that is there? So when I hover over this, I can just click on it, and this is the exact hex code that I need. If I want other values, I can even take those values, but this is the exact hex code. And now have a look at what I'm going to immediately do. So this is our chat GPT. What I will do is, by default, the version is, Ajay, I think by default, the version is 3.5 only. It is the 4 one, the chat GPT 4 that you have to pay for. But all right. If you go to our styles, what I'll say is, I'll just say body. And inside my body, I'm going to make the background color as that hashtag. And now immediately, what do you guys think? What do you guys think just happened? We have immediately changed the background color to make it look like ChatGPT's color. Right now, background color is something that we have done in depth over the last 2 3 days. So I don't think so. I need to talk much about it. But anyways, right now, what are the other few things that we are also supposed to do? Right, one more thing that we're supposed to do is we're supposed to give the color, and this color is not white; it is a little grayish. So just like I picked that color, I've already picked this color out. Let me just get that color for you guys. This is the color that we want. So now let's say this is our ChatGPT clone, right? So what is going to happen is, have a look at this. Inside my index, let's say I write some text. I write a p tag and I say, hello ChatGPT. Right. As soon as I do that, do you guys see that the text is here, but the text is black? How many of you guys can see this text? How many of you guys see that text? It is black in color though. Right? So we probably need to fix it. So how are we going to fix it? We're going to fix it by saying color uh, in small, and over here I'm just going to paste this. Right? This particular ECF1, right? This is the exact color that even ChatGPT is using. Right, even this chat gpt is using the same color. Now the difference comes in the fact that, do you see the difference in the font style? This looks a little more Arial like, and this looks very simple. Right, the font is different. Do you know how in Google Docs you can select different types of font styles? Right, Arial, then Times Roman, then Comic Sans. I hope all of you guys remember these fonts. So what we'll also do is we'll get ChatGPT's font, right? And I'll also show you guys how simple it is to get ChatGPT's font, right? So if you guys can see the difference in the font, like hello ChatGPT, and over here, if you have a look at this new chat, right? They look very different. So how do we fix that? We fix that by saying or going to Google Fonts. So there's this website called Google Fonts, which allows us to import fonts for free, right? So we are going to Google Fonts. Yes, Nilavra, exactly. And we're going to select Roboto. So the first font that you see is Roboto, or what you can do is you can over here also search for Roboto. Right. Roboto is the font that we'll be using. Just click on Roboto, and what you need to do is just add this. Every time you add this, they get added over here. And I'll tell you why you're adding these. So just add all the different styles. Some are bolder, some are, super bold. Black is just super bold, medium is medium bold. Right. Just select all of this, then click on this add import and copy this. When you copy this, you guys will see that this is showing you a style tag. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to go to our styles.css. At the very top, we're going to have this fonts. We're going to paste this. And when we paste this, I can now scroll down, copy this thing which says font family, and we'll be using font family to change my font. So the moment I change my font, have a look at this. So the moment I save this code, as soon as I click Command S or Control S, right, you will see that this thing changed. Let's go back. When I didn't have this, it looks like this, right? But the moment I save this, so I'm going to save this in 3, 2, 1, and when I say 1, have a look at what happens over here. So 3, 2, 1, this changed, right? So this is basically now a font which is much more similar to the font that ChatGPT itself or the company itself, OpenAI, is using, right? So now this is the font that we'll be using, and this was just the initial setup part. Now our initial setup of the project is done, and now we can actually move ahead, right? Margin zero, so that we are talking in terms of edge to edge. We don't want some extra space, and that's it. So how many of you guys are excited about the fact that our entire initial setup of the project is done, right? Is the pace too fast, or are you guys able to follow and understand with me? Don't worry about the code. I shall share the code with you guys because the code is anyways going to be with you. So don't worry about that. But let me know if there are any other concerns. Great, great, great. So let's continue. Right. Om says a little fast. Om, I know it is a little fast, but like I said, don't worry. Uh, don't worry about the. If you guys are understanding the concept, that is what I want, right? Just stick with me. I will explain everything, right? I think now you guys can catch up a little on what we have done. So I'll just quickly remind you guys. What we've done so far is the fact that we've changed this icon. So how did we change it? We downloaded a ChatGPT. I did that in front of you. Then we changed the background color. That is something that you guys are already aware of. Don't somebody ask me about the color tool. So don't worry about the colors for now. Colors I'll be sharing with you guys. So the colors will be with you guys when I share the code. So don't worry about the colors too. Right. If you want right now, I can just share it in the chats. So you guys can just copy and paste this exactly in your styles.css. If you copy and paste this exactly in your styles.css, everything should work. Right. Okay. So I cannot send this together. What I'll do is I will do this and this. All right. So I've sent it in two goes. First is the import link for our fonts, for a roboto font, and the second is this. Right. The last thing that we've done is the icon. Icon you guys will have to do on your own. Right. Vikash, mathematics ka ustad says, is anyone getting? Vikash, I will try my best to make you understand as well. Like I said, I'm sending the code in the chats right now. Just keep on copying, pasting it. Till I finish this website, nobody will really get to know this is your first project. Just trust me and write whatever I'm writing. All right. That is how everyone learns. Like I said, at the end of the day, you need to just trust. If you want to swim, you have to jump into the water. So till you start copying and pasting my code, you will not understand. Right. Cool. So now let's talk about what we need to build. Let's just quickly talk about the structure. Right. If I'm being very honest to you guys, the way that I look at the screen right now, this very screen that you guys can also see, right? The way I am looking at it is I see only two divs, two big boxes, two big containers, and inside those containers, there are a lot of containers, agreed. But as of right now, in this screenshot also, let me just show you guys, I just see two really big divs, right? What do you guys think? Let me try to edit this like I did yesterday, right? So what do you guys think? Do you guys see the two big divs that I'm talking about? One is definitely this one. Sorry. One is definitely this one, the one on the left, and one is this one, the one on the right. Right. Just these two big divs. Let's just focus about these right now. Right. Just one on the left and one on the right. Do you guys see the image? So the first task that we have, we're just going to build one div on the left and one div on the right. And then we're going to worry about the content part later. And that is how you're supposed to make websites, right? We talked about this. This is the mentality of a developer. The way a user sees a screen is, user sees, okay, this is a button, this is a button, I can click this, I can do this, I can do that. The way a developer sees a screen, especially a front-end developer, is how many divs are there? How many overall big boxes are there? So what you do is you build the biggest boxes first, then we're going to pick this side. And even in this side, if I talk about to you guys, if I just pick about this big box over here on the left, this big box also has one big box over here, one big tall box over here, right? And then one small box again over here. So the left side has three divs, right? One at the top, one over here, and one over here. Then if I talk about this has two buttons, right? So what does this mean? Are you guys seeing this image that I have? This might seem a little unnecessary to you right now, but with time, this will also come to you eventually. Is this making sense? So what we did was we have two big boxes first. Let's just build those boxes. I hope everybody understood this two big boxes logic. Let's build these two big boxes first. Then we'll come to this part first. We'll make the left side first. Right. So Ghanshyam, technically, I would say it's three. I wouldn't say it's four div. It's three divs. Oh, the left side. Yes, it's just three divs. One, two, and three. Just three divs. All right. Anyways, let's continue. So what we need to do is instead of this hello chat GPT, right? I need to build a left side and a right side. Now, if you guys remember, in yesterday's code, we just saw how to put things right next to each other. Right. Now, if you what I'll be showing you is how to put things right next to each other on left and right. Right. The way to do that is using Flexbox, and Flex is what we'll be using. So what I will just directly like to show you guys is the power of Flex. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a p tag over here and I'm going to say hello and bye. So we have hello chat GPT and we have bye chat GPT. And this is how hello chat GPT and bye chat GPT looks like. Do you guys agree? What I can do is I can make these p tags into two divs as well. Right? So we have two divs, hello chat GPT and bye chat GPT. And this is how it looks. Now I will show you guys the power of Flex, because what I will do is I'll say display over here and I'll say display Flex. The moment I say display Flex, have a look at what happens. Hello chat GPT and bye chat GPT are right next to each other now. So from vertical alignment, they became horizontal alignment. Right? Now I will show you guys another cool thing. What I'm going to say is justify content, space between. As soon as I save, look at what happens over here. So I'm going to click on save in 3 seconds. 3, 2, 1. And have a look at immediately what happened. Right? Isn't that cool? So basically now I can make sure that I have two divs and both of them are on two edges of the screen. By edges, because of the fact that the way I like to look at it is not the fact that this div and this divs are attached. The way I like to think about it is this div is always on the extreme left and this div is always on the extreme right. Does that sound cool, guys? Yes, exactly. Now what we'll be doing is, now let me just show you guys what we'll be building. Now we are going to have the hello chat GPT become a black div. So this by chat GPT is fine. The right div that we have is of the same color, we don't care. Now I need to somehow make sure that the fact where I have hello chat GPT, this thing should be black in color, like this dark gray in color. It should be on the left side. It should be full width, like it should be full height, right? That is my next task. So how do I do that? Right. And I also need to make sure that when I scroll, by the way, when I'm scrolling, this thing is fixed. Right. And I'll tell you what I mean by that. So right now, for first things, for starters, what you're going to do is this div. I'm going to give this div a class name and I'm going to say sidebar. Right. Why sidebar? Because it's going to be on the left side. Right. This is what we call as a sidebar. I'm going to say dot sidebar. I'm going to give this a background color. And what will be the background color of my sidebar? It will be this. The moment I do that, look at what we already have, right? We already have a particular div which is of the same color as this black div, but it is edge to hello chat GPT. Now look at the cool part, right? If I increase the text over here, from hello chat GPT, so let's say some random gibberish, this increases. Do you guys see this? This increases. Right. So what do I need to do? Does it increase over here? Does it this left bar? Have you ever seen this left bar increase, or has it always been this size? No matter what is the size of your prompt. If the prompt is too large, it just disappears. Podcast platform development, and then you cannot see ENT. You can just see MEN, right? So at the end of the day, this is not stretching with the font size. So what that means is we'll have to give this a fixed width, right? Just like we made the width of the we gave the width to our square yesterday, to the circle, square, whatever we are making. I'll give a width to this, right? What I'll say is I'll go to the styles and over here I'm just going to give it a fixed width of this much, right? And as you guys can see, this is breaking. So what I will also do is I'll say display block, and I think that should fix it. No, that doesn't fix it. Let's see. If I have this inside a p tag, I think then it will not overflow. It shouldn't technically. Hmm. For some reason, this is overflowing. We shall have a look at as to why is this overflowing. We need to fix this, but for now, I think this is fine. Right? At least this way is what we know is this thing. The size of this has changed. Right. This was the size that I was working on. So this size and this size are the exactly the same. Right. The reason why I'm not giving it in a ratio like somebody suggested, like let's do 2080. The reason why I'm not doing this as 2080 is because of the fact that I don't want this thing to. So if you increase and decrease the size, this is fixed. The left side is fixed. It should always be fixed. Right. Anyways, so this is what we have right now. Let's just work with this. Now there are certain things that I will quickly do, and I'll tell you why I'm doing them. Right. Let me give you guys an example. Let's say my body, I give this a height of 300%. Right. What does 300% means? It will be very large. Right. I think I gave display flex. That is why it's happening. But all right. As you guys can see, I should not be able to scroll. Do you guys see how this hello chat GPT disappears? Because obviously when I scroll through it. Right, I can scroll through it. Correct. This should not happen. If I go over here, I cannot really scroll. Right. So what we want to do is a few things. I will say overflow y, or I'll just say overflow none. Overflow is the property which allows you to use the scroll bar. So when I say overflow none, that means this will not scroll. As you guys can see now, this is not scrolling. Right. What we will also do is I will over here say position, and I'll give this a position of sticky. What does sticky mean? It just means that it's going to stick to the one edge. It's going to stay there. Right. It's not going to move around. 100 VH means 100 view height. It's going to take 100% of the screen. I can even give this percentage. So 100% of the screen. I would also like to give this a padding, and the padding I would like to give is 0.5. Right. This is the padding that I've given it. So this is how it looks. Then I think this should be good. I will also give this top of 0 and left of 0. Why am I saying top and left of 0? So that it is always on the top left of the screen. When I say top 0, left 0, it means this black div is attached to the top and left side. Right. If I change this, let's say if I make this instead of left, I say 20 pixels. Do you see how it has shifted by 20 pixels over here? I can even change this more. If I make this 50 pixels, is going to shift from left side 50 pixels, right? So what I want this always to be at the edge. Similarly, if I increase this will keep going down idly. Let's see if this does. Maybe the height is 100%. That's why. Hmm. Strange. But this also, the convention is to put it at the top left, right? Anyways, so far so good. Guys, what do you guys think? Right. Now what I'm going to do is now I'm going to build this part, right? How am I going to build this part? We're going to use flex again because these are two divs next to each other. But before that, do you guys see this icon? This plus icon. Do you guys see this plus icon? Do you guys see this chart icon? Do you see this side hide bar icon? So how do we make these icons, right? Making these icons, it's not very simple. Like we'll not be making them ourselves. We'll be using this technology called feathericons.com, right? Feathericons.com, and what they have is a bunch of icons that we can directly use, right? So they have already done the job of using these icons, and I'll just tell you how to import them. So what you need to do is go to feathericons.com. Let me copy this over here. I'm going to paste this. Right, I pasted it in the chat so you guys can have a look at it. Click on get started. When you click on get started, over here, the GitHub link will open. Just scroll down and copy this. Okay, so below your title and above your body, right, you're supposed to have this. So just add this in your head tag only ideally. So below your title, just add this thing, right? Then over here, when your body is ending, that is when you want to copy this. So we'll just copy this and paste it over here. Now, whenever I want to have an icon, I can just copy this I tag Let's go over here and I'll show you how it looks. So I'll just have it over here. Do you guys see the circle? Right? I can even have, I think cancel is an icon. No, cancel is not. Cross plus. Right? So basically now what I need to do is I go to feather icons. Right? I go to feather icons and let's say I want plus. So whatever name is over here, plus, plus circle, plus square, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go to my code and instead of I data feather plus, I can say plus dash circle. Now look at what will happen to this plus icon the moment I press save on this. It became the plus icon, right? I can get any icon I want. I can even get Facebook, I think. So we can have Facebook icon. So what do I need to do? I need to say Facebook and this icon will turn into the Facebook icon. So I'll go over here and just say Facebook. This becomes a Facebook icon, right? So basically this is what we'll be using for our icons and that's about it. So now I'll just quickly tell you what the structure for this is going to be. This is going to be very, very simple. These are just two buttons, right? I clicked on something. Okay. These are going to be just two buttons, right? Both next to each other. Now, what do we need to do to make things next to each other? Use display flex, right? We'll be using display flex, and that is about it. So let's just use display flex. So basically, we are done with this big div. Now we're going to make this smaller div, which will have this. Right. So what do I need to do now is basically I need to have a div inside of this thing and I need to give this a class name and I'll say button dash flex. So when I give this button dash flex, now what I can do is basically I'll create two buttons, right? One button is this, the other is this. One of the buttons will have a plus icon. The other button will have the dashboard icon. And I'll just show you what the dashboard icon is. Right now, both of these buttons have a plus icon. We'll go to feather. We'll say dashboard or we'll say sidebar, sidebar. Right. So what will I do is over here, I'm going to say sidebar. So already we have the plus icon and the sidebar icon. Right. So we have both the icons already. Now all I need to do is style this button, these buttons. How will I do that? I'll give them both a class name and I'll just give it a class name of BTN. That's about it. Right. We go to by first we need to style our button flex. Okay. By default, buttons look like this. That's not an issue. We will still do justice to that. I'll say dot button flex. I'll say display flex. Nothing really changed. I'll say justify content, space between. Right. And I'll say align item center. This way is now both of these are on two different ends, right? Now I'm going to say d.btn. Over here, I'm going to give this some styling, and that styling I already have with me, right? So what is that styling? I think this is it. So let me just copy this, and I'll just send that exactly over here. All right. So the moment I do this, this is how it looks, right? This doesn't look the best right now, but we shall fix that. Okay. So what do you guys see? The moment I gave that styling to my button, both of these buttons look like this. I gave them some padding, some font size. Display flex, I'll tell you why I gave this. I gave it a gap as well. I'll tell you all of this. Right. Now what I need to do is basically inside this button, I'm going to have a p tag. All right. And I'm going to say new chat. Right. In the next button, I'm going to have sidebar dash btn as its styling. Right. And sidebar btn will just be this. So basically, right. And what I'll have to do is button flex, I'll say stretch. Cool. So basically, what we ended up doing was the fact that I gave, okay, I'll come to this as well, but right now, don't worry about this. So basically, I gave it a border radius. I gave it some border, made the background transparent. I don't really need this. It's going to be, never mind. I'll have to give the background transparent. I gave it a gap. Gap is between the icon and the plus icon. Then align items. This is basic flex. because we want the icon and the chat next to each other, right? And that's about it. Now, something that I will teach you guys is the hover animation. Imagine when I hover over here, do you see what changes? The background color changes, right? This button becomes this. So what do I do with that? So basically, what you need to do is you just need to go to your specific button and you need to say dot button slash hover. So basically, on the hover of that button, what you want to do is you want to add some animation. And the animation is the fact that you want to change the background color of that particular button, right? You want to change the background color of that particular button to this color. So this space, when I hover over this is already how it looks. But over here, this happens a little smoothly. So what you'll have to do is you will have to give this a transition, all 0.2 seconds. Right? Okay, so Vinayak says NV box. And all right, I did immediately cover a whole lot of things. I understand that, right? So do let me know if you guys are a little confused about this. You guys must be. I totally understand that, right? But do let me know what you guys think so far. Just a second. Let me just restart this. Yes. So do let me know what you guys think about this so far. What is the consensus on this? Also, something that I'll do is all of these icons. What you guys can do is you guys can give these icons a size. So what I will do is I'll just go over here and I'll say I, and every I want to have a width of this much. So this ways this should decrease the size of the icon a little. Let's see. For some reason this didn't work. No, this is not really working. So maybe I'll have to give it over there. I think the width is one. Yeah, 1 run. Right, when I have the width 1 run, this looks better. Cool, cool. Great. And the width of this should also be 1 run. Right. So what do you guys think so far? Vinayak says HTML and CS is easy. Sahana says a little slow. Ishita says so far so good. Thank you, Ishita. And all right. Hmm. Cool. Okay. So now what we're going to do is the fact that where did our website go? Over here. So we are done with this part. Now we just need to take care of this, and then the main screen. So we have actually covered a lot, right? So I think we will be able to finish this in time. Don't worry, we still have an hour. Now we just need to take care of this, and trust me, this is very, very simple to make. This is the easiest thing to make, right? All you need to do is go to our ChatGPT, obviously over here, and let me decrease my screen size a little. All right. So now what we're going to do is inside this sidebar, right? Always remember the div that you are inside of. So sidebar is the div. This was just the button flex. Inside of this, we want to give a p tag, and the p tag will say today, right? So this is how that looks. Now, if you guys have a look at this is a little annoying. Okay, if you guys have a look at this and this, there's a little difference. So to make it exactly look the same, what you need to do is you need to give it a little styling. So we're going to go over here and give this the class name of today, right? Then we're going to go to our styles. We'll scroll down. I'll say dot today, and dot today I'll make the color something. Let me get the exact color for you guys. So I think this is good. Okay. So the exact color for this is this hashtag 8080 8E 8ENF 9F, sorry. Font size is 0.65. I think that is a little too small. Yes, it is a little too small. And something that we need to do is I need to increase the padding for the sidebar a little. So I'll make it 1 run. 1 run might be a lot. Points and 5 run. This looks cool. I think this is exactly it. No, it is not. Point 0.5 rem was it. And this today needs to have, I guess, a margin. Should we give this a margin? Let's give this a margin. It's fine. We'll give this a margin of 0.25 rem. Oops, margin left. Cool. More or less, not really. How does, okay, 0.5 rem. 0.5 rem does look good. What I'm going to do is I'm going to have another div over here so that we just cover everything up. And I'm going to give this a style and I'm going to give this a margin of 0.5 rem. This looks the best in my personal opinion. Yes, this looks the most similar. Right. So even this today is done. Now the only thing that is left is this particular new chart element. Right. The chart element. So firstly, again, let me just have a look at how you guys are doing so far. Vinayak says, go to the CS part, change the font size. The font size is not fine by you. I think it looks the same size, Vinayak. Have a look at this. This is how it looks like this. This is how it looks in our screen. The font size is almost the same, right? Anyways, cool. The difference is not the font size, it's just that Roboto is the closest free font that I could find for you guys. ChatGPT uses a private font, obviously, but it's not available for everyone to use. So, obviously, I'm using the next best thing, right? So now what we need to do is we need to take care of this part, right? And that's about it. Let's worry about this new chart element. So the way I like to see it is this thing and this thing are the same. The only difference is this has a border, this doesn't have a border, and that is it. Do you guys see the resemblance or is it just me? Is this code and this code, should these two codes be the same or not? Or similar at least? What do you guys think? All right. So if you guys agree with this, to me these look the same. So what we're going to do is we're going to keep this class names the same, and we'll see how does that pan out for us, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a div, and oops, not in all caps. Yeah, not the same, but similar, Ghanshyam. Very similar, right? Obviously, the border is different and the icon is different, but it is similar. Not the same, but similar, right? So basically, I'm going to give this a class. Let's give it a different class name because Ghanshyam said it's not the same. So that's completely fine. I'll call this the chat item. So I'm going to say chat item. Now over here, I'm going to say dot chat item, right? The chat item needs to have something. What is it going to have? It's going to have an icon, right? How do we need to import icons? Using our I tag, right? I for icon, I for I tag. Over here, I need to say, I think let's have a look at what icon it is called. So let's say chat. So do we need this message circle or do we need message square? Right? What icon do you think we need? We need message square, right? We need the squared one. All right. So we're just going to go over here and say message dash square. The moment I do that, I see a message square pop up right over there. Now, all I need to do is create a p tag. And what am I going to say? New chat. Right. Now, again, these two are in two different lines. How do I make sure they're in the same line? Right. By making sure that dot chat item is a flex box. So I need to say display flex to this. The moment I say display flex, notice how these are going to come in the same line. Again, 3, 2, 1, and I'm going to save this. And it immediately came in the same line. I need to say justify content. And the moment I say flex start, they're going to be a little more aligned. Then align item center is where the magic is going to happen. The moment I do that, they're aligned centrally. Right? Now what I need to do is I'll give this a gap of 0.5 rem, and now there's a little gap between these two icons, maybe even 0.75 rem, right? And then I'm going to give this a little padding of 0.5 rem on the top and 0.75 rem on the left side, or I think mm, this looks fine. I think we can. I should do something about the right. This will be fine. Right. Now what we're going to do is I'm going to make sure that this has a cursor of pointer. I'm going to say dot chat item, then hover, and on hovering of it, I want to change the color to this. Basically to this one. The moment I do that, this is coming together. Right. When I hover over it, this is how it looks. What you want to do is give this a slight border radius as well. I'm going to give this a border radius of 6 pixels. Right. Save it. This is how it looks. Looks pretty clean. Maybe we can give it a little more padding. 0.75. Let's see how that looks. This looks a little better, right? The issue is the icon part. So maybe what I can do is I can say 0.25 rem. Hmm. I will have to give this a styling of, right? And to this I'll have to say margin dash left is 0. Hmm. We messed up something. What did I want to do? I mean, this looks cool now. Do I take care of the margin over here? Let me just give this a margin of 0 and see if something happened or not. Definitely not what we want, right? And hmm, maybe give it a little bigger of a margin at the top. That will fix things. Cool. And oh, I had to give margin bottom 0. My bad. So margin bottom 0 if I do over here, right? Perfect. Not the most perfect, but let's keep this 8 pixels. Great. Hmm. This way there will be. How much gap does this have? It does not have that much. I'm so sorry, guys. I'm just making a quick decision. Let's keep this 0 only. And I think that looks the best. And what we're going to do is I'm also going to change the font size. So I'm going to make sure that the chat item has a font size of again 0.81. Right? This way, the chat is going to be smaller too. And this looks pretty cool. And I'll just give this a margin top of 0.5. Perfect. This is the most perfect that we can get. Right. Cool. So we already have that chat item also ready with us. Right. The chat item seems to be ready with us. What do you guys think? Is this good? Now, what we're going to do is we're going to just copy this code again and again and create multiple of these chat items. Right. So, how do we do that? Just simply copy and pasting, and that's about it. So basically all you need to do is just copy this, and if you copy this enough times you will create a UI just like chat gpt. Just copy this, paste this, insert a new chat. Let's say fundamentals of css. This is how that looks. Let's create one more. Right, we're going to call this fundamentals of html. Right, and this is how all of these look. Pretty cool. And one thing that we can definitely do is I can get, there should be no margin bottom to this, but maybe I can get this a margin bottom on minus of 0.5 run. Cool. And this is how this will look like. Right. Nicely styled. What do you guys think? So Ajay has asked a very interesting question, and Ajay says, "Sir, what is an API?" So an API is basically what allows the front end to talk to the back end, right? It allows the front end to communicate with the server, right? And what is a server? A computer with a responsibility, correct? So just a computer with a responsibility, it allows the front end to talk to the back end. So whenever the way ChatGPT is working is whenever I type something, if I type hi over here, right? What happens when I press enter? A request goes to ChatGPT, and ChatGPT servers get to know that okay, so and so computer from so and so user said hi, right? And we just send it back, and then ChatGPT sends something, and we bring it to the front. Right. So far we have built the sidebar. We have successfully built these components. Now we're going to talk about this particular thing. Right. This exact component. Right. To make this also, it is very, very simple. Right. We're just going to make a div with yet another flex box. Like I said, flex is the most important concept that you're going to get to know. Right. So over here is our footer component, and I'm going to say class name, and instead of footer, I'll say profile div. Right? Profile div is a much cleaner name to give. Right? Let's give this an image, and what is the image that we're going to give it? Right? So remember when I said you can add images through links, right? If you want to use your image, just drag and drop your image like we dragged logo.png and just use that. So for now, I'm just going to use logo.png. So just have dot slash logo.png over here, right? And maybe I can find an image that I can use. Just a second. Mm, right, I can just use this. So what I'm going to do is I have a image, my personal image. I'm going to copy it and paste it over here, right? So this is personally my profile pic that is there everywhere, and I can just use this name. So whatever name you have, just copy it and say profile underscore pic, right? And dot JPG. Make sure that the extension is right. This is dot JPG, it should be dot JPG. The moment I do that, if I go to my sidebar now, wow, this is how it looks. Obviously, it is overflowing a little. We will have to fix that. So we are going to give this a class name, and I'm going to say profile dash ing, right? To show to you guys how it looks. This is how it's looking right now. So what I'm going to do is give this a class name, profile ing, then copy this word, go to our styles.css over here, and give this a width. The width will be very small, so I think it's around zero point 0.5 rem. The height will be around zero point 0.5 rem as well. And if you, okay, zero point 0.5 rem is way too small. Maybe I think it's 1.5 rem. 1.5 rem is good. And if you zoom in into this, you will realize that this is a little stretched, right? This looks very ugly, by the way. So let's say if my height is this, it will get stretched, right? So what do you want to do is the fact that you want to make this thing not stretch. So what you will say is you will say object fit, um, object fit, and you're going to say contain. When you say contain, it becomes obviously, or you can even say cover, right? So it basically sizes according to the div and it doesn't break. So this way, when I have 1.5 and 1.5, this is how it will look, right? Now I can convert this into a circle by saying border radius 50%. Now it's a circle, right? And by the way, for I think Ghanshyam, Ghanshyam says that what does the cursor mean? So cursor, Ghanshyam, have a look at this. When I have an image or anything, I can right now my cursor looks like this, normal, right? But when I say cursor, let's say pointer, have a look at the change my cursor has. Do you see the difference between the cursor when it's over here and when it's over here? Do you see the difference when it gets on the image? Do you see the difference? Right? So there are a lot of cursor types, and let me just quickly show that to you as well. So you can just go to the CSS part and just say HTML cursors, or in honestly, go to the CSS cursor property, and over here, when you try, click on try, right? All of these cursors are different. Alias, all scroll, auto, cell, call resize, context menu, copy, crosshair. Do you see how my cursor is changing? As I'm moving over something, grab looks like this, grabbing looks like this, help, move, resize, northeast, and southwest, north-south, northwest, southeast, no drop, none becomes completely gone, not allowed, pointer, progress. Progress is very cool if you ever want to show loading, right? S resize, again, text is this one, URL is this, right? W resize, zoom in, zoom out. Correct. All of that. Do you see how my cursor is changing? So that is what the cursor property does. Okay. So what we want to do now is we want to build something like this. So firstly, again, building this will require Flexbox. Very, very simple. So we already have a profile div. So I can just give this a p text. And over here, I'm going to say Avi Vash. Wow, I misspelled my name. Avivashish. And this is how that looks. So now I'll go to my profile div, go to my styles, and guess what styling we're going to give? Display what? What should be the display of my profile div to make sure that Avi and this thing are next to each other? This thing and this thing are next to each other. What do you guys think? There's one specific display that we've been using. What is that display called? Is it display flex or is it display block? Display flex, right? Or is it display block? Come on, guys. Nikita says flex. Thank you so much, Nikita. So we are going to make this display flex, right? Then again, align item center will align this centrally, giving this a gap, will give this a gap. Cool. I need to decrease my font size. I'll say font size is again 0.8 rem. I need to change the color of it. The color of it will be the same as today's color. So I'm going to make, oh no, I think this is fine. And I'm also going to reduce the font weight. Right. Now what we're going to do is we are going to add a little border to it. But notice when I add a border, let's say I add this border, right? The border gets added for everything. We just want a border at the top. So what we can do is we can say border dash top, right? And that's it. This instead of FFF, I will have to give this color, or I think it's hashtag 555. So I'll give this hashtag 555, and we're good, right? Maybe instead of a gap of zero point 0.5 rem, I'll give this a gap of 1.5 rem. No, that's a lot. 1 rem or 0.75 rem. Okay. So Om is asking, what does rem mean? I am very glad that Om has asked this. So Om, you know how we were doing pixels? 1 rem is equal to 16 pixels, right? So 1 rem is 16 pixels. That is the math. So I just like to keep it simple by using rem. And zero point 0.5 rem means 8 pixels. 0.75 means, I think, 20 pixels, stuff like that. Not 20. 0.75 would be around 12, right? So 1 rem is equal to 16 pixels. That's it. Okay. So we already have this component. One last thing that we're missing is the dots. So if you guys have a look over here, this has 3 little dots over here. So how do we make those dots? So to make those dots, what you're going to do is go back to feather icons, and I think the dots are called. I every time forget what those dots are called. I think more. If I write more, yes, more horizontal. So more horizontal is the icon that we need. So I'm going to go over here and call this have my icon, and over here I'm going to have more dash horizontal. Now when I have more dash horizontal, this is what I have. Now one cool thing about these icons is the fact that I can give this a margin left of auto, and this will be on the extreme left side, right? Now this is something we talked about yesterday also, margin left auto. To how do we center it, we talked about it. But right now what I need to do is I need to give this a padding. Maybe just a little would be nice. So zero point 0.5 rem. Cool. And or let me give this a margin and let's see how that looks. Hmm. No, I think zero point 0.5 is fine only. Right. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to write position absolute. And what does position absolute let me do? Look at this. When I say position absolute, I'll have to say with 100%, right? Maybe I'll have to say 90%, 100% will not work, or even 80% for that matter. 85, let's have a look at that. Hmm. I think 90% or 87% works, right? Or I can even say fixed. No, fixed not. Okay, we give the position absolute, and now I can just say bottom 0 pixels, and it will be at the bottom of the screen. So now what will we have to do? We'll have to give this a little more of the bottom part, so maybe something like 2 rem, right, or one rep. And that will be it. I will give this a margin of auto that is centered. Let's see what can be done for this. If we say position fixed, fixed is definitely not going to work because fixed is also with respect to the screen. But okay, I can just give this a 12.5. How much was this? This is 13.25, right? So if I give this 13.25, it should be exactly the same, right? So I'll just give it 13, and that should be good. 13 is good, or even 13.5 if you want to make it, and I can give this a padding of great, and I can even make padding dash bottom as 0 then. Right. So now this ways, this is what we have. I think even this I can make 0 rem or 0. Cool. This looks the best. Right. Now for some reason this is still scrolling. We shall fix this. So to avoid that, I have set overflow none. Where is the overflow? We will have to see. Because ideally we're not supposed to let this basically float now or scroll even a little. Like as you guys can see, this is scrolling a little, right? This scrolling shouldn't be possible now. I think my body has overflow none. Okay, overflow hidden. Okay, my bad guys, it's overflow hidden and not none. I'm so sorry, it's overflow hidden. Now I cannot scroll it. Right. So Durga says how to bring this div to the bottom of the page. Durga, to do that, you need to give it a position fixed or a position absolute, right? I know we did not cover that, yes, in yesterday's lecture, but with position fixed and position absolute, you guys can simply put any particular div at the bottom. Cool. And that's it. So your left sidebar is completely done, and in exactly an hour, we've finished the left side. Now only the main side is left, and that's about it. So do let me know what you guys feel. You want me to repeat quickly because this was the hardest part. Now the part that we are about to do will be easier from this. What do you guys think so far? Right? I know the pace is a little high. I will not lie to you. The pace is a little high, but we have to cover the syllabus, right? I hope you guys are understanding that if we had more time, we would. But I think we need to keep the pace high. If I, explain each and everything, people will get bored as well, right? So far, what do you guys think is happening? Bright Buddy says absolutely fine. Bright Buddies is, oh, by the way, is Subhash here today? Yashika says yes. Nikita says good for me. What about Subhash? Is Subhash here and Shobit? I haven't seen Subhash and Shobit's name pop up in a long while. So Subhash and Shobit, are you guys here? So for those of you who don't know, Subhash was yesterday's APL winner. Shobit was day twos, and obviously Bright Buddies was day ones. Lennon, right? So I don't think so. Subhash is here. That's good to hear, Subhash. I think Shobit is not here with us today, but that is good. Really proud of you. And Srinidhi says hi. Hello, Srinidhi. So good, good. So AccioJob has posted how many of you guys are with me on the left side. So what I shall do is I shall give you guys a little break of 5 minutes, and I shall also show you guys a cool trick. So what you guys need to do is you need to upload all of your code to GitHub, by the way, right? And GitHub was not covered in this series, but I will make sure I'll tell you guys how to do that. And left sidebar, right? So basically, you can even drag and drop your components, or I'll teach you guys a simpler way. Just go to github.com, sign up on GitHub, create a new repository. When you create a new repository, let's say example, I'm creating this example repository, right? Create this example repository or whatever name you give it ChatGPT, right? And when you give it ChatGPT, just over here, click on create a file, create a new file. When you click on create a new file, create a file name called index.html. Okay, create index.html. Copy all of your index.html code that I am writing or you are writing. Let's say we just copy this. Copy this exactly the same and commit. Okay, just commit it. Commit means you're saving it. Now create a new file, click on add file, create a new file, create your styles.css file, right? Go over here, copy this entire thing, paste it, and commit. Now, when you do these two things, right, make sure the file names are the same, index and style.css. When you do this, now you can go to settings. When you go to settings, go to pages. When you go to pages, um, okay, we'll have to make this repo public. All right. So make sure that your repo is public. By the way, mine was private. Make sure it's public. Okay, I will have to put in my password. Okay, make sure your repo is public. When your repo is public, right? Let's continue. So far you created a public repository. You went to index.html and style.css, right? When you go to index.html, style.css, add those two things. Go to settings. Go to pages, right? And click on deploy from branch, click on main. And as soon as you click on save, something will start happening, right? When I refresh, over here nothing happens, but if I go to actions or if I go to code, you will see this orange dot comes, right? Now basically just wait for 2-3 minutes, and when you guys keep on refreshing after 2-3 minutes, there will be a green tick. When there is a green tick, that means your code has been deployed. I'll just show it to you guys again for those of you guys who don't know, right? Go to your ChatGPT clone repo, right? Make sure you have an index.html file and style.css file, right? Go to your settings, go to pages, and click on deploy from branch main. And when you click on save, something will start happening. And that something is basically how your project is going to get deployed. Now you can go to that repository. I think it takes 2-3 minutes, right? Let's just go to our example one. And over here, there's a green tick. When there is a green tick, you click on that green tick, you click on any of the details, right? Complete job, whatever you want. Okay, or you can just go to pages again. When you go to pages, you will see your site is live at this. Now, when I click on this, you will see the code that I have or you guys have provided, right? And that's about it. The reason why this image is not showing is probably because I haven't added this image over here, right? But in my other repo that was there, make sure your other files are there too. You can drag and drop those, right? So when I go to my repositories, I can delete the star example and delete this later. When you go to ChatGPT clone, again, go to settings, right? Go to this pages and click on this. When you click on this, you will see that this is working, right? Now, this is a link that I can share with you guys already and you guys can view it. So in the form, when you make your submissions, this is the link that you're supposed to share, all right? This is what we call as a deployed link and you're supposed to share that. How many of you guys understood this? It is full time. So Durga, it is full time if your repo is public. Make sure your repo is public. All right. So how many of you guys have followed this much and the left sidebar? Because right, like I said, now not a lot is left, right? Just we need to make this and this complete, and that's it. Right? Ghanshyam says yes. Durga says yes. Right? So towards the end, if we have time, I will again cover the deployment part and what you need to submit. But please note this time. Right? I want everybody to note the time. I think right now it is 9:19. Right? So just have a look at my screen, and whenever it's 9:19 or 9:15 around that, right? So basically 1 hour and 15 minutes or 1 hour 20 minutes around that time, just come to this video and see this part again. All right, great. So now we shall cover this part. And over here, like I said, we're not covering this, just ChatGPT plus and this, right? So how do we make this? It is very, very simple, right? Firstly, what I would like to make is I would directly like to just make this part and then we'll come to this, right? How do you make this? Again, I told you guys, it's very, very simple. So we already have our right div. Everyone remembers this by ChatGPT? Everyone remembers by ChatGPT? So what we're going to do is we're going to give by ChatGPT a width. And firstly, I'm going to give this a class name and I'm going to call this as the main dash container. Since this is the main container, I would like to go to the styles and give this a styling of or a width of 100%. The moment I do that, by ChatGPT comes over here to the left edge. If I say text align center, everything will be centrally aligned. Right? I'll give this a little padding as well. I'll give this a padding of 0.5 rem. The moment I do that, this is how it looks. Cool. So Ghanshyam says we'll do that using the input tag. So Ghanshyam, you're absolutely correct. What I'm going to do is instead of saying by chat GPT, right? Instead of saying by chat GPT, what I'm going to do is I'm going to say something similar. And I'm just going to make, okay, I'm just going to make an input. So instead of this, I'm going to say an input, right? We have discussed inputs yesterday. I'm going to give this a class and I'm going to call it main dash input, right? Now, the thing about this is, in fact, I'll have to give a div. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. So we are going to have a div, and inside this div, I'm going to have the input. The reason for that is I'll give this div a class name and I'll call this input dash flex, right? So there's a trick to this. If you guys think about it, it's not just an input tag, there is a send icon also, right? It's not just the input tag, there's a send icon also over here, right? So we need to take care of this send icon as well. So we will have this and we will have a button or we'll have the icon, right? We'll have the icon. So for the icon, obviously just copy this and paste this and I'm just going to say the moment I do that, this looks like this, correct? And this is the only icon which is not accurate, by the way. For some reason, ChatGPT is not using feather icons for this icon. Rest, every icon is the same. Each and every icon is the same. It is just this icon that ChatGPT has done differently. But anyways, so now what we'll do is this is already by default in Flex. So there's nothing, not a lot to worry about. But I'll just make this width as 50%, right? Or maybe 80%. Let's do 80%. I'm going to say display flex. I'm going to say justify content, and I'm going to say space between. What happens in space between? It becomes on two different sides. One is on the side, one is on the side. I'm going to say margin auto. What is margin auto going to do? It's going to make sure that this is centered, right? Then what else do I have? I can have position. We'll talk about position later, but right, that is it, right? Something that I also need to cover is the fact that this needs to have a little background. So if we go to the input field, I am going to give my input field this particular of a just a second, I'm looking at something strange. All right, so I need to give this particular background color, right? This color is this one. Okay, I'm going to give this a little padding of 0.5 rem, right? I'm going to give this a border radius of 6 pixels, right? Uh, what else can we give this? I think this is good. I can maybe instead of 6, I can move this 8 pixels, and instead of I'll give this a margin of 1 rem and auto. So this, right? Now, as you guys can see, this thing is looking very ugly. So what do we need to do? We need to make sure that our dot input flex, the input that input flex has, I want to give a background color of this to this, right? Now there's an ugly border, so I'm going to say border 0, right? Now, if you click on this, you can directly write. But as you guys can see, the color isn't the best. So what should be the color? What should the color look like? The color should basically be this. right? And even the font family is a little different if you guys cannot tell. So the font family needs to be Roboto or it needs to be sans dash serif, right? And apart from that, I think we are good to go. I can also give this a width of 100%, and there we go, right? Something that I also need to do is give this a little margin right of 1 rem. And one more thing. So there's this thing inside inputs which is called focus. So do you see how there's this ugly blue that is outlining the div? We don't want that. So how do we fix that? By saying focus outline none. So when I say outline none, this goes away. Now there's no longer that ugly blue that was there, right? And that's about it. What we can also do is I can give this a padding of 1 rem on the sides. Cool. This is how it looks. And if I do this, this is how it will look. I think 80% is a lot. So we can make this 50%. So then this is how it looks. Very similar. Maybe I can give this a padding of 1 rem and 0 rem or zero point 0.5 rem, I think. Right. Now this looks very similar. And by the way, I can have a placeholder. So I can have a placeholder over here and I can say, what does this thing say? This says send a message. This thing, send a message. Right. So I can go over here and say send a message. And when I do that, this is how it will look. Very cool. Right. For some reason, my icon is not looking the best. So align items center. And now it's looking the best. Great. So now one last thing that is left is the fact that I need to put this at the bottom of the screen. So how do I put it at the bottom? Right. You guys know the trick. Just say position relative and or actually let's see if this works. The thing about fixed is that let's just do position absolute and the bottom 0 and I'll make sure that the left is 15% or 25% I leave. Right. And for some reason, even this is breaking. We need to see as to why that is breaking. I believe that is because of this. If I make this 90%, 50%, cool. Or just not give this anything. Cool. Right. So just like that, even this part is done. And one more thing I'll say is the fact that this color is a little different. Let me get this exact color for you guys. So this color is 8E89F. So we'll copy this. I'll go to my styles.css. All right. And what we're going to say is we're going to say dot input text input and placeholder. And placeholder is this basically value. And I can say color hashtag this value. Right. And now this is the exact same color. Cool. There's also this one line of message that is there. I'll just quickly copy this, go over here. In below our input flex, okay, this is also going to cause an issue, or will it directly be there? No, this is at the top of the screen. I guessed. So, all right, I'll just say style, text align, center, right? And for this also, I have to say position absolute, right? And I have to say bottom 0 pixels, right? And the bottom for this will be, let's say, something like 2 rem, right? This is how this looks. Hmm, why do I not see this? Just a second. Last name, footer dash text. And I'll just copy this footer text, dot footer text, position, fixed, with 50%. Uh, Bottom will be zero. Where did that go? Can we not give position fixed to text? That is strange. So if that happens, we'll have to change our structure a little. But all right. So far, are you guys with me? What's the status, guys? Are you guys confused? What do you guys think? This is just the last nail in the coffin. So I really do want to do this. But okay, let's just quickly get this done with then. I believe we will have to give our main container the styling that we have given to our flex box, by the way. So I believe that will have to be done. So I'm just thinking of the cleanest way that can be done. That's about it. So basically, what's happening is this thing that we have done, I need to give to. See, the moment I do this, this is what happens. So what I need to do is I need to give this to this. And there we go. It's working just fine. This is also working just fine. I can just say this is also fine, and I can just make this left. I can give this an exact left. Cool. So maybe I can give this a little more left. So I think 30% was fine. How did I do it before? I don't want to make the code this messy, to be honest. Just give me a second. Let me have a look at how did I. Flex 1 shouldn't really get the job done, but uh, hmm, just a second. I mean, we are there. I completely get the fact that we are almost there, but all right, let's just stick with this, right? What I'll do is I'll make sure that this thing is at least a little better in the sense that I can reduce the font size. So I just say comma dot to this, anyways, and dot, and then font size is 0.8 rem. Text line is center, I guess, or yeah, that is good. Maybe I can give this a little more. All right, this is fine as well. Right. The only thing that is left now is the fact that I need to give this a bottom of 1 rem. I mean 0 rem. Cool. This doesn't look that bad, but it definitely doesn't look the best either. Am I? I'm just thinking of the cleanest way to do this. I don't really want to overflow certain things like this. I don't want to overflow. Right. But I guess you will have to do this, and I will have to even say. Can I say width is 100% and see? No, maybe can I give it a margin left of 5 rem and see? Perfect. Right. Just like that, our chat GPT clone is coming to an end now. Right. So we are almost there, I would say. The last nail in the coffin is making this. And this is also, by the way, very simple to do. It's just ChatGPT written in H1, and there it is. It is in Flex, and the span tag or the other tag has uh, a plus written in yellow. So, do you guys want to try writing this ChatGPT plus on your own, or do you guys want me to help you guys? What do you guys think? Do you want me to help you, or are you guys happy with this? Because what we have done is actually very similar to ChatGPT, and I am really proud of us that in just a span of 1 hour 30 minutes we have come this far. I really want to take that Q&A session with you guys. What do you guys say? Do you guys want to go home and try? I mean, you guys are already at home, but do you guys want to try doing this on your by yourself? You guys have time till tomorrow afternoon, so I think making this should be a piece of cake. I'll give you a hint. Just give this an H1. and give this basically a flex technically. So make a div, have a flex inside of it, have two H1s, right? Then over here, have display flex, align item center, the same styling that we have done over here, but over here, just give this yellow color. So Ramya Sri says help. Yashika says will try. So we have two will tries. Ghanshyam says yes, sir. All right. So let's see. Yashika says will try. All right. So Ramya, I would suggest that you also try it. Right. There's nothing to lose. You guys submit whatever you have. You guys will get a certificate. Right. So it is the fact that you guys are trying which matters, and don't really forget about the fact that in the last 3 4 days you guys have learned a lot. Obviously there are a lot of things that you guys did not understand this session, but understand that I have been taking such sessions. I have been coding for the last, I have lost count of the years as well. At least 6 7 years that I can count off that I've been aware of HTML. It's maybe even more. I made my first website when I was in 7th grade, right? Or 6th grade, in fact. So trust me, it is a thing which requires a lot of time and effort. As you guys saw, that even myself, I was struggling with this last bit today, right? And I will definitely agree with you guys that I myself haven't done this in the most cleanest solution that I could, right? Obviously, the example that I had coded before this live session, that was way cleaner. So I was just trying to look at the logic that I had written over there. I didn't want to copy and paste the code, right? But the fact that every time it's not going to be the same thing is something which development is really uh, all about. You guys can never fully learn anything. You guys can never fully understand all concepts. It's always going to be hit and try. It's always going to be practice, practice, practice. There is no, there is no, what do you say? There is no replacement, or there is no substitute, is the right word, for hard work, right? So don't get demoralized. I know there are a lot of you guys who are completely new today, and there are a lot of you guys who are new to this entire development. In 3 days, be proud of, in fact, 4 days, be proud of what you have learned. We started day one with basics of internet. Then we talked about basics of HTML. Then we talked about basics of CSS. And today you guys have made almost a fully working uh, ChatGPT clone, right? So be really proud of yourselves, and I would definitely want you guys to be proud of you yourselves. I am proud of you guys, and you guys have done amazing, right? Are there any doubts? Let's talk about the doubts now. What I shall do is I shall quickly push the code, and I shall once again explain what are the steps to deploy your code, right? So basically, if you have a look, what you need to do is you need to go to GitHub, sign up on GitHub, basics things. Then you need to click on new. When you click on new, you need to click on the repository name, create a public repository, right? When you create a repository, make sure this is public and click on create repository. Then you need to import your code. You can either drag and drop files, or you can copy paste and create files. Make sure all of your files are there. If you have used these two images, make sure those two images are there, right? And then go to pages. So I'll just show you that part again. Just go to your repositories, go to ChatGPT clone or whatever repo you have, go to pages, settings first, then go to pages, then make sure that your main is selected and you click on save, and then you guys will get this link in 5 minutes, right? When you get this link, just refresh, and as you guys can see, right now our code isn't really done with the building part. Till there's an orange dot, that means your code is being deployed. As soon as there's a green tick, if I refresh, I get to see all of my code, right? For some reason, this is breaking at the top. That is strange. Is it breaking over here? No. Something is messed up in my code, that means. We will have to look into that, right? But other than that, pretty good, right? So, what are the doubts, guys? Tell me. Ghanshyam says backend parts, sir, how to work. So, Ghanshyam, I will say once you're done with front end, only then go for backend, right? And by the time you start with backend, I would definitely appreciate if you guys learn the full stack of front end first. So, basically, learn HTML, CSS, JavaScript, React, and then move to Node.js and do backend. Backend is a totally different game. It is all logical. You need to be good with your DSS skills to be good at backend. But right, backend is really fun too. There are a lot of courses. I think we haven't had a backend session on the YouTube of AccioJob. Let's have a look at that. So let me go to the YouTube channel that we have. I myself am not aware if we had any backend videos so far. Let's see. We have data analyst. I think we had one live session on backend. I will not lie to you. I think we have one. Let's see. Roadmap to jobs. There was one. I will have to find it, but let's see. There's a data analytics one that we did. There is master and basics of JavaScript. I would definitely want you guys to have a look at this part. Learn SQL from scratch. SQL is a database language, right? So it's basically part of DBMS, right? Database management system, right? There is OOPS. There's fundamentals of arrays. Again, SQL basics. Open sources there. Technical interviews, front end roadmap, let's see, there should be a little about JavaScript from scratch is there. So definitely you will have to learn JavaScript if you want to make any kind of backend. That is for sure. But I'm trying to look if there is an exact hmm, exact backend course. We will have to have a look at that. Don't worry, right? But other than that, there should be low level. Yes, low level design with the help of live project backend development. So we do have one low level backend project as well. Low level just means beginners, right? Easy stuff. So as you guys can see, we already have a lot of live sessions that we have done. There is an entire playlist on projects that we have built. This is the playlist that I would highly recommend you guys to watch and for you guys to definitely go through. There's one on SQL as well. There is one at obviously Life of Active Students. There's a full HTML and CSS course for beginners, by the way. In detail, we have explained each and every topic. There's CSS properties as well. So I would definitely, if I was able to do justice to HTML and CSS, you guys should be yes, Durga. So Durga asked, just curious, will the backend of ChatGPT be integrated? Yes, it will be. Right. Anyways, so like I was saying, there is an entire series of HTML and CSS at AccioJob's channel only, and I would definitely recommend you guys to see this. Right. There is a list of entire topics, and there's a final project that you guys will be making. So you guys will end up making this entire project, right? As you guys can see, it's a very cool project, right? So right, so definitely go through the playlist. These are all very very helpful, free resources right for you, right? And that's about it. Right. So all of your answers can technically be answered by me, ChatGPT, or YouTube. You can just visit our AccioJob channel. Right. So I think that will definitely cover all of your queries. But if there is any other query, do let me know. I think it is about time that we can float the forms for the assignment submission. And you guys can keep those forms with you. Those forms will be sent over to you via Discord as well. And the assignment submission form, right? So the forms will be given to you guys soon, and the certificate you will get once you fill that form, right? You'll get the certificate via mail, so you will have to fill that form. And let me just send the link for that form as well to you guys. Uh, all right. So here you go. I have put the link over here for you guys to have a look at. Editor is not the part of the link, but here you go. I'll also put the link over here in the Notion so that you guys can quickly see that as well. Right, so the submission link is there. The link is there in the chats. The link will also be sent to you guys via Discord. Be active on Discord. Ask any doubts that you have. But right now, do let me know what you guys have learned about this session. What do you guys feel that I was good at? What I was not good at? Give me a good feedback. You guys are definitely an amazing audience. Rahul says hello. Hello, Rahul. Right, I've sent the link again. I've sent the link two times, so three times so far. Right, the link is there in the Notion as well that you guys should have by now. And right, so we are coming to an end, obviously, to this session. What do you guys think of this session? Did I do justice to this? Are you guys happy, satisfied? Are you guys excited? Did I somehow instill that fire inside of you to learn development? Because definitely remember the first story that I told you guys. development is like unlike anything else. It's not like, as a single architect you cannot build the Burj Khalifa, but as a single developer you can definitely create the world's best website, right? Just you and your coding skills, and that's it. Om Gopal says, "Sir, your coding speed is so fast." Thank you, Om. I know that is both a good and a bad thing, but with practice, you will also get there. Good because it is fast, but bad because you guys probably had a tough time to follow. I'm really sorry about that. Gansham says, "You're nice." Nikita says, "You're nice. You're amazing." Thank you for the session, Nikita. Durga says, "Amazing output." I am glad, Durga, you feel that way. The form has been floated again. Please open the form and tell me if the form is open or not. Also, again, a reminder, please watch the video to see how do you publish the app and share that deployed link. Right? You have to GitHub Static's website on host or not. Yes, you can host all kinds of websites using GitHub pages, be it static or dynamic. Don't worry, right? Ishita says thank you, Ishita. Om says, sir, how to upload project. All right, Om, you'll have to go to your GitHub. I told you guys right around 9:20. You will have to. You can just watch the video. Just time should be 9:20 on my screen, right? And all you need to go do is create a repo, upload all of your code there. Once your index.html file is there, once your styles.css file is there, once your logo.png and profile.pic. So when all of these four files are there, all you need to do is go to your settings, and inside your settings, go to your go to pages. And once you go to pages, just make sure you're deploying from your main branch. Click on save, and that should be it, right? Just for that, a reminder: just make sure these two files, the naming should be the same for index and style, not styles, but index, but styles also keep the naming the same. Right. Srinidhi says, how will we get the certificates? Srinidhi, you will get the certificates via email. You'll have to fill the form and only then will you get the certificate. Right. So what do you guys think? Are we good to go? Right. Any other doubts? Anyone? Ghansham says, sir, please tell me how do I host? Ghansham, for the last time, if you go to settings, if you go to pages, and when you click on save, you will deploy it. And this is the link, right? Your link will be over here. This is the link that you guys can submit. So this is the link that you will have to submit, the link which will be over here in your GitHub pages, right? This is what we call as a deployed link. If you guys face any issues, by the way, just deploy your HTML using GitHub pages and watch any video on YouTube. There are a lot of videos, they're all the same. What's the latest one? It's just a 2-3 minute video. Just follow this, right? How to host a website on GitHub pages, and you'll get it. Maybe even ask ChatGPT itself. ChatGPT itself will take it, right? All right. Prasun says, thanks for the session. Thank you so much, Prasun, for watching. And thank you so much, guys, for being such a lovely audience, right? Yashika, Ishita, Durga, Ghansham, Nikita, all of you guys. It was definitely a pleasure to teach you guys. And yeah, so, all right. Shall we end the session? Should we finally end our 4 days boot camp, right? Yes, something that I would want from you guys is the fact. Okay, hey guys, have you been able to submit? So yes, also do let me know that how many of you guys were coding along with me, and how many of you guys have already tried to submit it, or how close have you gotten? Do let me know about that, right? And as far as ending the session goes, um, right, what do you guys think? Dinesh says, thank you, Dinesh. And right, so do let me know what is the progress on the.
Hi Avi, I'm sorry to interrupt. So, guys, I've just noticed that you guys have been filling the form, but you guys have not exactly put your link in there. So, you guys need to also make sure that you guys are putting in the link and then submitting the form. You guys have not exactly submitted the form, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, definitely. So you guys will have to make the project, upload it on GitHub, make sure it's live on GitHub pages, and only then will you guys be able to submit the link, right? So what is the exact time for submitting the project? I think it's 2 p.m., 2:30 p.m. Tomorrow afternoon. Okay. Tomorrow afternoon, what is, can we have like the exact time? So I'll update it on the Notion. So what we'll do, guys, is I'll update it on the Notion, right? And Nikita says, okay, 3 p.m. So the form will be live till 3 p.m. Let me put in H2 over here saying deadline is 3 p.m., right? And yes, you will have to upload the GitHub link, Nikita. And again, guys, don't worry. You guys have a lot of time, right? You guys have around 12 hours. Then you guys have more 4, 5 hours. You guys have a lot of time. Trust me, you guys have around 16, 15 hours, right? Battery says I will ask ChatGPT to make ChatGPT. Battery, definitely go for it, right? But make sure the code that you're writing is something that you understand, and make sure that you upload it on your own, and make sure that you give everything on your own, right? And trust me, by the way, I'm sorry to burst your bubble. ChatGPT cannot create ChatGPT's clone, and the reason for that is ChatGPT 3.5 and ChatGPT 4 is something that came in 2022 and 2023. ChatGPT just has knowledge to 2021, and the UI that ChatGPT had back in 2021 is not the best. So even though, and how do I know this? I tried asking ChatGPT to make ChatGPT. I thought it would also make it, but turns out it will not. So I believe your best bet is, using this video as your reference and trying to make it. Right. But definitely ask ChatGPT if you have any doubts. Ask it how to upload using GitHub pages. Right. If you want, you can watch my video, and you can watch any other resource on YouTube. But definitely. So Gokul says till now, what you did, we need to submit. Yes. Whatever I did today, you just need to submit that. Just create a link and submit it. And whatever I did, follow step by step, and that is about it. All right. Any other doubts? Hmm. Any other doubts, guys? Let me know, and we shall address them. The form has been floated again, so the form has been floated a lot of times now. So, sir, can I refer it? Yes, battery. You can refer to my repo. The repo has been shared for that, right? I understand that you guys are all beginners, so the code is definitely for yours to learn from. The you guys can refer to my code. All right. Kukula says what I enter in project link. Kukula, you'll have to enter the GitHub link that we generate, the GitHub pages link, right? In the link, you need to put the GitHub pages link. All right. Any other doubts? So let me actually fill this form in front of you guys and show you guys what you need to do. So this is my deployed link, right? I'll copy this. I'll go over here. I will have to enter my phone number. Okay. And I'll just enter some random because I don't need the certificate. If you don't enter a real phone number, you will not get the certificate, guys, by the way. So make sure you enter your real phone numbers, right? So this is 5 and this is 5 and then submit. So enter your phone number and enter this GitHub link and submit for me. It's a very simple form, right? I don't think so. It should be very tough for you guys, but that's it. Okay. Are we good? You guys can refer to my code, right? AccioJob. Okay. So you guys can enter your support team number as well. All right. I was not aware of that. All right. Any other doubts, guys? Oh, guys, never mind. You guys are supposed to enter your personal numbers. I'm so sorry. My bad. You guys are supposed to enter your personal numbers in the form. Okay, so I think we can end the session. And yes, please make sure to enter your personal numbers again, otherwise, you will not get your certificates. So enter your personal numbers and your own GitHub links. We do not want other people's GitHub links. Please do not copy my GitHub link and enter that. Make sure you enter your individual GitHub links at least, right? I'm allowing you guys to refer to my code, but at least make sure you guys create your own GitHub links. All right. So, all right, we can see that people have started to drop now. So, can we end the session? Any more doubts? Anyone? Last call. And if not, we will definitely end this. And like I said, it was a pleasure teaching you guys for the last 4 days. Amazing boot camp. And we've finally come to the end. We started from day one by learning the basics of HTML, CSS. Yash did give us an amazing introduction to AccioJob. Then it was me. Then day two was about us taking a resume session. So I told you guys how to create the best resumes out there. Then we learned about the basics of HTML. Then yesterday, which was day three, we talked about how to pass interviews, or the best tricks and tips for interviews. And then after that, we talked about basics of CSS. And today, we finally built the entire chat. So Battery says share the Notion link. The Notion link is available on Discord, guys. Every link will be available on Discord. Don't worry about that. But I'll just share it one last time. So the Notion link is available to you guys on the chats, or you guys can go and it should be available on Discord. Right? So if everyone's doubts have been cleared, let's end this session. Like I told you guys, an amazing session. You guys were the best crowd so far, super active, and the Discord link is also there. So if anyone still hasn't joined Discord, please join the Discord. And right, so I hope to see you guys soon, and I hope you guys do reach out to the team at AccioJob, or to reach out anyone that you want in the Discord. There are a lot of mentors that you can talk to, and do reach out to us, ask us anything that you want to, and we will get back to you, right? And Ghanshyam says miss you. So Ghanshyam, I already miss you too, right? And let's meet soon, definitely.